Hello,
Hi,
how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's like good. It's morning for you, isn't it? So good morning.
Yes, it's morning. Where are you?
I'm in Scotland, so it's 4 p.m. or just almost quarter past, half past four.
I really want to get to Scotland so bad.
Oh, Laurie, it's
Oh,
beautiful here. It's so nice.
yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I really am
There's
excited.
so much, just so much to see, and it's very, very like if it was more hotter, it would be even more beautiful. But there's literally just so much mountains and hills, and like I stay in like a rural end of Aberdeen, so it's just like I look out and see trees. It's great. It's great.
I love that. That's so beautiful. Well, welcome.
Thank you so much.
So, you know how this works. You've been around for a while. So,
Yeah, I've been joined for a long time.
a long time. I always see your name. So it's good to see your face because I
I
always
know.
see Lois loves fitness. Lois loves fitness. I'm like, Lois loves fitness got picked.
Yay!
um, so really good to be here. I am going to just tap in for a moment to your energy field, the guides that are around you that want to connect with you. Like, why now? Why are you receiving the session now? And then once I kind of tap in, then I'll just say, go ahead and ask your questions. I'm just going to close my eyes for a moment. You can keep your eyes open or closed, but I'm just going to close my eyes for a moment just to tap in.
That's okay.
Um, and then I'll probably open them back up.
Cool.
But go ahead and give your guides permission to connect with me. Give your higher self permission to connect with me. Oh, so interesting. The first thing they showed me. I love like the first random things that come in. This must be related to like what you're here to do, but they said she's royalty, which was interesting. She's royalty, and you've had lifetimes, and perhaps the last lifetime you've lived, you were royalty. You were like queen, almost like a queen or something. So
Wow.
there's a royalty to your energy field. Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. And it's perfect time now. So whatever's happening in your life right now, whatever sort of redirection or guidance that you're requesting, you're ready now to receive it, which means you're ready now to make any sort of adjustments or pivots. Um, yeah, your physical body is ready. Your mental body, your emotional body is ready. Okay, so go ahead. What are your questions? You have a very strong energy. I'm assuming there's a lot you know that you're here to do that you probably feel like you haven't been doing yet, because of your energy field. So nothing's quite fulfilled you in the way that you're designed to be fulfilled, most likely.
Yeah, I would say so.
So
Um,
what's your question and questions?
Questions. Yeah. So my first question is, when you put in the Patreon thing of the mini session, I put my name in like as soon as I got the notification, and I instantly felt like I was going to get it. It was so weird. I was like, I feel like I'm going to get it. And I was like, I really hope it's a good time and it's not like later on, because I'm actually going to go out with friends tonight. And I was like, I might not even go out tonight if I'm picked. Like, as in, like, I almost like knew that I was going to get picked, which was amazing. So it's come at a good time for me because um, where I stay in my like area of where I live is it's like luxury kind of living, and the place, like the agency, is called like Dandara Living, and it's super nice here. I've lived here for 4 years, and I'm very attached to this place. Like, this whole area is just a bougie kind of lifestyle, and I'm very attached to it, and I know that I'm attached to it. And I went from living in a studio for 4 years to applying to live in a one bed studio here, like a one bed flat here. And I've worked with Dandara closely because of my following on social media, and they were able to give me like a discount on where I stay and everything like that. And they made the process so hard to move, and I felt really hurt, like my heart hurt, because I was like, I needed a guarantor because I'm self-employed, And I was like, I've lived here through a pandemic. I've lived here for 2 years. Like, why do you need, like, what more guarantee do you need from me? I'm not going to, like, I can afford to live here. It's only like £140 more a month. Like, I can afford to live here. And they just made it really, really hard. So I ended up having to try to use my mum and dad as my guarantor, but they're both getting old. They're rich in assets. They're not rich in income. And it was a long process and a really like struggling process, and eventually it was like all down to like communication from their side that I couldn't end up getting to move in on the day, which was Wednesday the 12th of February, I think it was. I couldn't move in on that Wednesday because the home let kind of application hadn't gone through properly or hadn't like finished. And I had already taken time off work and self-employed, all that sort of stuff. So there's tons of stress going on. And the only ultimatum that they gave me was like, find another guarantor or wait until this one like goes through, which might be like another week or so, or pay 6 months up front. So I had like a day and a half to meditate on that and like figure out if I can afford that, which was roughly about £4,500 up front. And that's a lot of money, you know, that's a lot of money. I'm lucky I had that, but it was just, I felt very rushed and forced, and it put me into this state of lack because now my bank account is very low. So I'm in a state of lack, and I'm in a state of like I'm almost like I've moved here and I'm here for 6 months, so my rent is paid for 6 months, and my family, my friends, everyone that supports me said, if I was you, I would just leave after 6 months. I wouldn't be lining their pockets again because they've shown you no respect for not only your loyalty as a tenant, but also like I give them free exposure on my social media. And like I've got a lot of like, I've recommended 10 people to live here. That's hundreds of thousands of rent per year that they get from just my recommendations, you know? And I feel so like, why, you know? So I've been going through a lot of like, I would call it childlike emotions, I'd probably say, because like it's part of my self that I was before I moved to Aberdeen, which was 4 years ago. I moved like 4.5, 5 years ago. I moved to Aberdeen, and I was like quite immature. I was quite like I complained a lot. I always wanted my own way, all that sort of stuff. And like as I spiritually grew, I came across you and Phil around about must have been 3.5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. So I've followed you for like a long time, and that was when I like was on my like ascension journey, and life's been really good. Like seeing lockdown, it was like heaven on earth. But this past like moving should not be that stressful for a renter. Like, yeah, okay, if I'm getting a mortgage, cool, but like I'm renting, I've lived here, I'm not someone off the street, like you know who I am. And they just made it so hard. And it wasn't only that, like they gave me a parking space like a way over in block 1, which is like about a 4-minute walk. I'm like, come on, like there's parking spaces designated. There was just like the customer service that I received was just not fair for me being there long term. And I'm like, you know what's weird when you said Queen Lois? Like I was like, I'm not someone like I'm not royal, but I was like, I do expect a bit more loyalty from them back, if that makes sense, like reciprocation. So I've been going through a lot of emotions, being very, very stressed, and I've seen lower numbers in my bank account, and it's made me into a lack mindset. And within the time frame of me moving, like the week and a half, 2 weeks to me moving, the last week of this whole like plummet of going from like high vibration, like I'm moving flats, I'm upgrading my life, I'm living my best life, to then what are they doing? Like, why is this happening to me? Why is there stress? Like, why is the universe doing this to me? I started to lose clients and I started to lose income as well. So it's a complete domino effect, and it gets crazier. So like I've now moved in, I'm trying to like just make a house a home, but I'm also stressed because I'm like, well, what am I going to do in 6 months? Because they're technically asking me, this is what hurts my heart so much, like I could cry. I was like, right, so after 6 months, I'm assuming I'll just pay like monthly from then because I've proved myself to you guys. And they were like, no, you've got to go through the referencing process again or pay another 6 months up front. And I was just like, ow, like it hurt so much. And I was just like, well, I think this is the end of the road here. I don't think I'm going to stay here anymore. But deep down, I don't know if I'm going to find somewhere else like this. So I'm I've got this attachment. I know that this is the best, like the highest spectrum of like the best lifestyle for me, but I'm struggling to sacrifice not getting that like reciprocation that I deserve, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of like in this state of mind of like a child that's putting her foot down and like that. But then a lot of my friends and family are like, but you're asking for the bare minimum, Lois. Like, you've lived there for so long, you deserve to get this one bed knowing that they can trust you. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like, I earn more than enough, but I'm self-employed, so I know how to declare, all that sort of stuff. And then, so yeah, I've been losing clients, and then I had an accident with my car. It wasn't my fault. So somebody bumped into me. So my car is now in for getting a repair. So I've been upgraded to a brand new car, which is super nice. And then I had a little accident with that. Just like, I opened the door and there was like a little, like, it hit into the other car and it's got a chip on it. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then at my work, at the private gym that I work at, I smashed a mirror by an accident. And I'm just like, oh, what is going on? What is going on? It's just one thing after another. And I've never been in this negative mindset for the longest time in my life. Like, the only way that I've been down in this lower vibration that I feel that I'm in was when I lived back home in my hometown, and I was bullied severely, which made me actually move to Aberdeen. And I've not felt like I've been in this negative mindset for 4 years, more than 4 years. And suddenly I'm just back into this like negative Nelly kind of person. So I feel like you came to me at the right time, because like when I put my name down, I am going through something very pivotal in my life. And I feel like you can bring a lot of awareness to that. And I just thought I'd add, for a side note, I actually have an astrologist that I work with too, because I really want to take my life seriously at this age. And she did say that I actually am going through a Saturn return. So I think that maybe be like affecting it as well. But yeah, I just feel like it's just stress, like, and I don't want to feel like this. I'm very peaceful. this is not making me peaceful.
I love it so much. I'm so excited that this is happening right now. I love it. I'm like, oh God, this is so good. Oh my God, so many things were coming through. Okay. Whenever your guides, whatever message the guides give us in the very beginning, it's the theme. Okay. So what did they say? They didn't call you a queen. They said you are royalty. Okay. So if we just take that you're royalty, and I want you to imagine royalty as an energy.
Okay.
I deserve. I'm
Yes.
worthy. That's why you moved in. Now, we are always going to be tested by our traumas in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Whether it's a past life or a past in this lifetime. Bullying. Do you really feel worthy? Are you going to let somebody's rules stop you from knowing that you are royalty? Does it matter? Listen, here's the thing, okay? When you're royalty, I want you to literally put on the suit of royalty.
Crown.
Does it matter what they are?
Aura.
Or whatever it is. The crown, the dress, the shoes, the earrings, your royalty. Which is why you moved into that apartment. You know you're worthy. Does it matter when you are when you're in royalty, does it matter what their requests are?
I don't know.
Because you need to practice the energy of royalty, because it doesn't matter. So there's the reason that this is confusing and why I love it so much is because it is you literally moving energetically and physically into the resonance or the vibrational signature that you are. Your royalty may not be the best word to use. Pick a different word. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Just worthiness. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're magnified out, you're wealthy, you're abundant, whatever mm-hmm. word. Okay. When you are living in worthiness or abundance, which is what you are literally physically and energetically, so you pulled yourself out, dropped yourself into royalty, abundance, worthiness, and this version of you, okay, that mm-hmm. now has to step into that, has to release energetically any beliefs that don't believe your absolute signature of worthiness, of abundance, and of royalty. So it's actually magnificently beautiful what's happening, because you are running up against lack. You're like, no, I know I'm not. I don't have lack. Like I jumped here to not have lack. And it's like, oh no. How much can you stand in no matter what comes at you, Lois? Can you stand in? Can you hold worthiness? So what I think is so beautiful around giving $4,000 away, it doesn't matter.
£4,000, actually. We're in different currency.
£4,000, so that's more than dollars. It doesn't, this is what they need you to understand. This is what they need all of us to understand. When you hold the vibration or the signature, do you understand signature? Signature is your essence. It's your resonance. It's who you are. It's spirit. It's your spirit. When we start to step into that, it's a whole different game. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's a whole different game. You have to play it differently. Nobody's doing anything to you. You're doing it to yourself, meaning you're allowing yourself to upgrade. So them saying, give us $4,000 on one level, the unilateral level, it's like, oh, hell no, that is ridiculous. And that is so stupid. On the higher self level, hell yeah, I'm going to give you $4,000 because I've got so much more coming. I could care less. Here you go. Next, I want to live here. I want to live here. This is where I want to live. Ask me for 10,000. If I have it, I'll give it to you. I don't care because I have abundance. It doesn't rattle you. Right? So what it's showing you right now is where you're at, which is great, and what is going to pop in to stop you from holding your signature, holding your frequency.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I'm holding on to the whole, but I'm deserving of not needing to go through a guarantor situation because I've given them X amount of this. Like, I definitely feel like I'm in that attachment of, but I've given you guys so much. Why can't you do this for me?
It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. That's still, you're still in a narrative. So go beyond, think of a higher version of you. It's not about the back and forth. It's not about the conversation. It's not about the rules. It's not about that. It's beyond that. It's not about that. So will there come a time where you will have so much abundance that this will never happen again? 1,000%. Are you stepping into that? 1,000%. Does this matter? Hell no. And what happens is that once we start to get rattled, right? I know that feeling so well, where all of a sudden you're awful. Like, oh my God, everything was going so well. And then I kind of get knocked off my ledge, and then everything else then it's like a snowball effect, and lack just comes in and screams. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You've got to get back to the essence of abundance, worthiness, and that royalty. You've got to feel it. It's an absolute energetic feeling that you have to start to hold. And it's almost like, imagine you're Oprah Winfrey, or imagine you're like, I don't know, who's the, like, maybe not Oprah, but like whoever, like, who do you see as like, that can like own their world, we have to emanate that. The reason I say, who do you see, is because then it allows you to kind of experience you can kind of tap into that energy, right? The frequency of that person. You need to hold that. You need to hold it, because here's the thing. Anything you do is fine. 6 months from now, if you go to a different place, it's fine. But
I love it here, though. I love it here.
Then don't go anywhere. This is what you love. Why would you ever allow rules? Who cares? You are beyond. We are above the rules. Meaning,
I know. I need to get it out of my head. I do. I'm just like, you guys have hurt me. You guys have literally screwed me over. Like,
so what?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay.
So what? Do you love living there?
I love it.
Okay. Are you going to let their stupid rules stop you from living in a place that you love? Or are you going to embrace it? Are you going to see it? Are you going to be like, wow, this is what they're doing? Are you going to know that it's a choice, always a choice? I'm sure there's other places that are more beautiful, more money, More beauty, more money. Typically, that's how the world works, right? Maybe they won't ask you for all of it, but it's going to be 3 times more. There's all these little intricacies in living on this planet. But what is occurring for you is to, first of all, most people in our lives are still going to see it unilaterally. So they're going to be like, that's not fair. Get out of there. You are Lois. You should be not being charged that, blah, blah, blah. You're being asked to see it from more of a multidimensional layer, a multidimensional view. Get out of the unilateral view, step above it. Because this is literally, I'm telling you, if you can do this, which you're going to, okay? If you can, and it's really hard, it stretches your, it's like mental gymnastics. It messes with, because you're like, wait, how am I supposed to do this? How do I mentally like move myself into that vibration? And how do I not let them bother me? And how do I step out of that lack hole that I'm going down? From my experience, you have to step out of the game. So it's really hard to explain. You have to pull yourself out of what the spider web that's kind of holding you. And you have to start to recognize that there's another layer to this game, and that nothing is happening to you in order to create more suffering and struggle. Nothing, Lois, is happening to you to bring you back into a lower state. Nothing.
I know that
Nothing's bringing you
intuitively
back
it's
into
to
lack.
grow. Yeah, 100%. I know that like my inner voice is always like, this is gonna make you grow, but like I cannot, like my ego is like, what? Are you joking? You know?
Well, that's the trauma. That's the childhood trauma.
Yeah.
That's the bullying. That's the, you're not going to do this to me. I'm going to stand up for myself, right? So this is why it's multi-layered.
That's crazy.
It's multi-layered. Do you see how multi-layered it is? So yes, we absolutely want to honor the fact that your little girl is like, hell no. You are not going to tell me, right, what to do. You're not going to give me these stupid rules. So the trauma wants to be seen. That little girl wants to just be, she's like, can I have a voice? Can I scream? Can I have a temper tantrum? Can I say, get my parking spot over here? Hell yes. Have those temper tantrums. My God, let her have that. Okay. Then
she's had them.
Then you move yourself up a little bit. Okay. So you start to pull yourself off out of that one lane road, and you're like, oh, wait, there's an offshoot here. Maybe I'm starting to move into more of my energetic signature. Maybe this is an opportunity to not give a crap what kind of stupid rules people are going to throw at me. I'm above it. It doesn't matter. It's not going to impact me. So you're impacted because you're not aware of that offshoot. Soon as you start to pull out, you start to become aware of more of why this is unraveling. You're not unilateral. Now you're like, oh, wait, there's other reasons for this. There's a bigger thing that's happening beyond just the narrative that I'm being given, which is, my car is 5 miles down the road. It's not even in the same parking. It's not even in the same apartment complex, like all these ridiculous things, right? Like absurd things. And so I deeply am feeling like this isn't about you fighting it. This isn't about you saying, I'm worthy of a parking spot right in front. I'm worthy of not paying 6 months. That's not what this is about for you. This is about, it doesn't matter what you say. I'm that worthy. It doesn't matter. You want 6 more months and 5.5 months, you want 6 more months. I don't care. What I know is that I loved living here and I want to live here. The moment you don't want to live there anymore, you leave. Nobody has control over you. Nobody's going to make you leave because of their dumb rules. This is what it means to be in the world, but not of it. You're practicing it right now. How do you be in this world with all of the ridiculous, stupid rules that make no sense, but you're not impacted? You don't play in it, Lois. You don't play in it. You laugh at it like, oh, okay, here's 4,000 next. And you stay in that frequency. So you're both in it. You're having the temper tantrums. Those temper tantrums are going to go away as soon as you acknowledge that that's little Lois. And she was bullied. Yeah. And she gets to scream. And she gets to yell with her friends and talk about how absurd this is. Absolutely. It's
I know,
ridiculous.
like, I never gossip, and I'm gossiping about
Yes.
what's going on, and I'm like, why am I going into lower frequency to gossip? I don't do that. Like, I just
Let
so much.
that piece out. Let that piece out. But then do not, that is not the only reality. The moment you hang up the phone with your friends, you pull yourself up and say, wait, what's the bigger picture here? Because eventually, Lois, you won't even gossip anymore. Eventually it will be that you'll just be like, oh, this is just part of what I'm in. Here you go. Eventually you may find an apartment that you love so much. Okay. And you have thousands upon hundreds of thousands of pounds in the bank account or whatever it is. And they ask you for a year up front. And it's like, it doesn't even cross your mind. The ridiculousness of what they're asking, it doesn't matter because you're like, I'm going to live here. What else absurdities do you want? Like, it doesn't matter anymore. You don't get sucked into the drama. You don't get sucked into those narratives. Okay. So this is such a beautiful opportunity to step into royalty, which is whatever frequency that feels like. Imagine you have a crown on your head, the queen crown. You have a little crown, a big crown. Everywhere you go, that crown is on you. When you're bitching and moaning, the crown is on you. With the queen, would royalty be doing this right now? Would royalty be doing this right now? Would royalty be doing this right now? And watch how you're going to start to shift, because royalty is your signature. It's not a pretend. It's the highest resonance. It's your highest resonance. And when you're in your highest resonance, everything will become effortless, which is why you are stepping into your highest resonance right now. And it feels like a shit show because you're like, this is not effortless. This is absurd what I'm going through, because it's the caterpillar into the butterfly. You're learning how to be you. So you have to do it in this matrix. So you have to be confronted with everything that's going to pull you out of being you. So everything you're experiencing is pulling you out of being you right now in
100%.
order for you to be you.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that deeply. Wow. Yeah. I'm just looking at my flat going, I'm going to be here longer than 6 months.
No, you get to choose. It doesn't matter their rules. It doesn't matter their rules.
Yeah.
And with the lack piece, that's a doozy, that's a doozy, meaning it pulls you so quickly. And from my own experience, the way I kind of pull myself out of the kind of the magnet, I see lack when you start to move into lack and you start to go, I see it as like a magnet in a hole, like a dark black hole. And all of a sudden you're being pulled into it and nothing can tell you different. You're like, oh no, this is what's happening. I'm losing clients. I'm losing money. I'm losing this, right? So you have to try to imagine that it's not that it's an illusion because it's real. You're watching it happen.
Yeah, I'm watching
but it's an
it.
energetic choice. So you have to I'm trying to explain how I do it because I fall into that a lot. I fall into
this is part of my second question, actually, to do with money.
It's important. And I think this is really important in general for all of us, is recognizing how lack can pull you into, it's so challenging because it'll pull you in, it will give you physical reality that will show you proof of lack. And it's like fear. You can't help but jump in and then you're in it. And it's really hard to turn around and be like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be I'm in abundance. The good thing is that you know abundance, you know what abundance feels like, right? So that's a positive. Thank God. Okay. Many of us don't know what abundance feels like. So we don't even know where we're going. So once the best way that I could describe how I pull myself out of lack, I want to tap into it for a second so that I can describe it the best way possible. I understand that. Imagine abundance and lack are two energies, and like they're two doors, okay? And both doors, when you open them, you can kind of get, it's an energetic pull, all right? And they're both illusions, meaning neither are real until I open the door and then it becomes real.
Yeah.
Which means that it's always an illusion and it's always a choice. So the reason I say this is it's not absolute. So abundance is always a choice. Lack is a choice. Even though it feels like I'm being pulled and I'm losing money and I'm losing this and I'm losing whatever, it can dissolve in 2.2 seconds if I choose to now move myself into the door of abundance. Okay, so then it becomes, what does the door of abundance feel like? How do I shift myself to that? And this is the hard part. Imagine like the door of lack that you're in, where it's like you're losing, the bank account isn't going up as fast as you want. Your clients aren't coming in more. There's not more and more clients coming in. Whew, how do I explain this? You have to imagine that, like, imagine that dissolving. Don't focus on that. Don't focus on it. I think that's the best way to describe it. Don't focus on that. Focus on, I don't want to say what's coming because that's not staying present, but it's almost like focus on
What I have.
the opposite of that. So focus on, why are you here? What are you here to do? Are you really here to fall into the trap of lack? No. Are you really here to lose all of these people? No. Is there something else that may come in that's going to give you new opportunity? Yes. Do I need to stay in more of an expanded state? Yes. Lack's going to keep me restrictive. It's going to keep me tight. It's going to keep me like this. I'm going to go in and in and in. I'm going to cut off from what may also be coming for me to provide, or so it's uncomfortable.
Very.
It's a surrendering. Okay, here's another piece, because I'm really trying to describe. I know I'm not doing a good job but I'm trying because I'm trying to feel into what it feels like for me, and it's almost impossible to teach abundance in my opinion. But imagine that you are, when you're in lack, you're more, believe it or not, it feels like you're in more control in a weird, messed up way. There's like a sense of controlling something, even though you're not controlling it, because you wouldn't want to be controlling lack.
No, I feel you.
When
Yeah,
you're in
I do.
abundance,
I feel you.
yeah, right? It's a weird feeling. It's not like you're trying to control it and make lack happen, but there's
No,
some
but
sort of
I become more
safety.
aware of what I'm spending. So like today at the shops, I was like being careful what I spent. I was like just holding back than what I normally do. Like normally I can spend money and not even bother. You know,
Yes.
I check my bank account maybe like once a week.
Yes. And now all of a sudden there's a sense of control, there's a sense of fear, there's a sense of, right? So moving back into abundance requires a deep state of sort of trust and surrender. You have to get back into an energetic, for you it's a lot, and for me and for a lot of us it's about starting to live more from that energetic space as opposed to the logic. That's also a good way to say it. So abundance doesn't hold logic. It's an expression of energy. And so um it's almost like you have to start to, oh God, I wish I could express this in words.
Something that's coming to me is that I just need to envision myself when I had the utmost abundance I had.
Ooh, that's good. Feel that. Be in that. Just be in that. Be in that as much as you can. Like, and what I always do is I always say to myself, okay, I can't see what's happening, but I know that if I let go of trying to control, because lack is when you're in lack, you're starting to control everything and you're starting to try to make things happen and you're efforting and you're trying to now make money.
Yeah.
Abundance doesn't do that. But
Honestly,
when you're
Laurie,
in
I
lack, you're like,
never like this is mad, right? But for the four and a half, 5 years that I've been self-employed, I've barely had to look for clients. They've always
yes,
energetically approached me and made themselves known to me. I've barely had to put on my stories like, got some spaces for clients. Like, I've never had to do that. And I'm like, I know deep down I'm like, this is not me. Like, I never have to look. I never have to force on a salesy kind of way on my Instagram
Yeah.
stories. Like, I am just like, I envision who I am, and like people come to me,
It's
you
a
know?
deeper sense of what you're speaking of, and what I've been going through as well, is a deeper sense of, there's a deeper level of abundance that's being asked of us to step into. And the other thing that's coming in is that when we let go of just losing it all, okay? Let go. So you like when we just let go and say, I'm not going to try to maintain this. I'm not going to try to keep this at the highest level. Because because you've experienced that abundance, you don't have any control over it. It just is. It's effortless. Abundance is effortless. So letting go of, okay, this may be the end. I may starve and die and never have any more clients. Letting go. What does it feel like to let go? Just let go. Let go. I'm not going to try to force abundance. I'm not going to try to, and this is really challenging for a lot of us, but that's where abundance is found. Because and then the next layer is, this is what I always do, and this is what you do, or you're going to start doing, or you probably already are doing, or you will do now, is I'm not here on this planet, especially as royalty, to not be in abundance. Period. I refuse. I refuse. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I refuse.
That's my thoughts.
So
I'm not gonna lie, that's my
yeah,
thoughts.
and so you want to hold that, and you want to let go of trying to stop whatever's occurring. But also honoring the fact that you're like, oh my God, do I have to put an ad up? Do I have to do this? Right. So it's a fine line. It's that unilateral road, but it's a bigger picture as well. It's a much larger picture as well. So you're not alone. I'm going through it as well. I've been going like this with lack and abundance the past couple of months, lack and abundance. And it's always an illusion to me. It's
Yeah.
always an illusion. None of
I
it's
think
real.
it just depends, like on the illusion depends on where your state of mind is a lot,
Yeah.
like massively. But the second question, I feel like you kind of answered, but I feel like whenever I'm tested, it's always tested. Like, I feel like if I make a wrong choice, the universe takes away money, if that makes sense. Like, it's always money that seems to be of lack. Is
It's
that even
not
possible?
you're not making the wrong choice. Just think about this, okay? This is for all of us. Everything that's occurring in your life is bringing you deeper. It's the greatest freaking gift, because it is bringing you deeper into your signature, your resonance, your highest potential. So anything that rattles you is an opportunity to say, oh my God, wait, this, whatever this is that pulled me out of alignment, that pulled me out of highest potential, highest resonance, like I'm good state, that's always going to be there until I can master it, which means that it no longer pulls me out.
Yeah.
So if something happens and you lose 50 clients one month, you are learning how to be in a state of abundance regardless. You're learning how to be in a state of abundance. You're learning how to stay aligned no matter what happens in the world. No matter what happens. Because the external world is always going to be a shit show. Welcome to the third dimension. Welcome to the matrix.
Yeah.
We can't change the matrix. We change how we are in it.
You know what? Sorry, you know what's so funny is like, I feel like it's harder now than it was in the pandemic for me. Like, I literally was living heaven on earth during that whole pandemic. Sorry if that triggered anyone, but for myself, I felt like I was living heaven on earth. I was in my most abundant self. Yeah, my yearly income took a hit, but I was living my energetically most highest self. And this situation that I'm going through now, or this like phase of my life that I'm going through right now, I feel like I wasn't even like this in lockdown. I wasn't even like this through the pandemic. It just shows you.
Think of everything as an upgrade or a leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think of it as something that's happening to you in a bad way.
Yeah, there's a bigger picture to it. Like deep down, I know that this is part of growth. Like there's something that I need to learn from this, and I'm assuming that in 6 months' time, I am going to be able to have more clarity, and then move forward with whatever I do choose to do. But it's just,
It's all of, if I were to sum up this whole message for you, the whole message, it is literally simply you learning and remembering how to be in your signature or your highest resonance, no matter what.
no matter what.
That's literally what you need to look at and hold and understand, because there's nothing happening where there's a lesson you need to learn, or there's a right or a right rate, or a good decision and a bad decision, like you screwed up. There's no such thing. So you could move in 6 months. That's beautiful. Everything is being, the universe is serving you right now. You're serving yourself right now. Always. We are always serving ourselves and saying, listen, it's not our fault that we incarnated into a world that pulls us out of our highest alignment, that pulls us out of our absolute signature of how we're designed to live, free and abundant, and all of that, regardless of the chaos that's happening in the world. So we're learning how to do that. We're learning how to come back and figure out how to do that while we simultaneously experience it all. So you give yourself the temper tantrums. So, this was really eye-opening, I think, for a lot of us, because what you're experiencing, so many of us are experiencing right now, it is a massive example of evolution. It's a textbook example of what evolution looks like, literally. So it's such a gift. It's such a beautiful gift that you gave us, because right now, because you're in it and all of us are in it, we're sort of like, is Lori talking about the truth? Like, does she know what she's talking about? But
no, I 100% like
30 years
everything you
from now,
say to me resonates, everything.
30 or 40 years from now, we would look back, like, let's just say there's a future version of us, right? Watching our, past version of us. We would be in awe. We'd be like, oh my God, remember that chapter where Lois was doing that? And that was such an amazing part of her evolution. And she was stepping deeper into her signature. And she was remembering that she's always abundant and that she's got this royal energy around her. And so that's how you kind of want to pull that lens in as much as possible, because it pulls you out of, screw them, this sucks, that kind of thing. But it's multi-layered, so there's so much in it. There's so much.
I love it.
We just honor it all. But it really is, it's so beautiful. You're like, you got pulled out, tink, dropped in, and the rattling has to happen. The smackdowns have to happen. Because we are not currently living in our highest potential. I'm not living in my highest potential. So we're designed to. So the world is always going to show us what we need to kind of master in order to step deeper into that signature.
Mastering it, yeah. So
wow.
I never felt my guides before, but I feel like I felt my guides there.
Oh yeah, they're very quiet. Okay, your guides are very quiet, and you are a very strong-willed, determined energy. So you don't necessarily need or depend on them. You're very much like you kind of really. It's like they're overseeing everything. But there's not a lot of dependence on them. It's the energy I got. But there's a very much of like a protection, or a imagine like the queen's walking down the street and there's bodyguards around them, but the bodyguards aren't necessarily talking. They're just sort of protecting the queen. That's the energy I got with your guides.
Yeah, I mean, like in lockdown, I just like had this voice say to me, "You're divinely protected. You're divinely guided. You're divinely protected." I just felt that, and like that's what got me through. I think that's what got me through the whole like 2 years of this pandemic was just
So
I believed that I was protected. I believed that I am guided. You know?
why are you not listening to that now?
Yeah, that's a bit quieter than what's what other part is going on.
But this is where it really, this is where you really, this is why I always devour the really hard times, because this is when the really miraculous, I'm telling you, Lois, this is when the massive, if there's anything you get this. When it is the most difficult, when it is the most challenging, when you are the least yourself, when you are the most broken down, that is when the miraculous shifting occurs. And you don't have to fight it. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to make sense of it.
Just flow with it.
You flow with it. You let it go. And you continue to come back to who you are. I know I'm guided. I know I'm protected. I know I'm okay. I know who I am. And I know that this is allowing me to be deeper in that. And what a freaking gift. Do you know how you would never be able to tap into a deeper sense of you if these things weren't happening?
I know.
So
Or
we
like
have to
if
start
someone
to,
didn't understand, they were just like again doing what I was doing, but had no understanding of awareness or even like reflection. Whereas I'm aware, I'm reflecting on my actions, I'm reflecting on my energy. Whereas some people just go blind into that
yeah.
and don't even acknowledge what they're in. They just kind of class it as like
Yeah. Yes.
tunnel vision, you know?
Yeah. It's the unilateral road that they were talking
Yes,
about
that's the
this
word I'm looking
morning.
for. Yeah.
It's like, no, this
So
is the only thing. This is it. This is it. You
yeah,
know?
exactly. I feel like there's one more thing. Because you said that my guides are quiet. Uh, I would like to know, like, have they got a message for me? Have they got anything for me?
So the first thing they're saying is trust your heart, which is always annoying when they say, because it's like, I don't even know what that means sometimes, but trust your heart. So trust what you feel deep down, not your instinctual reaction or response to things. They just keep saying, remember your royalty, remember your royalty. You came down here to be in royalty. You came down here to be pampered. You came down here to enjoy the fine things in life. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter the number in the bank account. It's all an illusion. You came to play in this. You came to like literally like huge buffets of food. Like you're here to be in absolute to be served. So everything is an opportunity for you, they're saying, to step deeper into that. So there's no mistakes, obviously. Just keep trusting your heart, following what feels right. Don't stay in logic. Don't stay in your head. Don't let your head pull you out of your heart.
Yeah, I feel
Okay?
that deeply.
So nothing matters other than just stay in your heart. What do you want? What feels good? And only do that. Don't let logic and ego and trauma pull you out. Okay?
Yeah. No,
Such a
that's
beautiful
beautiful.
session. You yeah, it's really, really powerful. Okay. If I wanted to put this up on YouTube, would that be okay with you?
Of course.
Okay. Would
You
you
know
want me
what's
to
so weird, Laurie? This is
you
so
want me to
weird.
like screen out your face?
No, it's totally fine. I had another intuitive feel that this was going to be a very powerful, me being vulnerable was going to be very, very powerful for the collective.
Yeah.
And that's, I love that you've said that, because it's just completely validated that intuitive feel that I had of be your most vulnerable self with Lori, because a lot of people are going to like appreciate this.
I think so. I think a lot of people are, it might not be the exact example, but this is textbook what evolution looks like. Textbook. And it is messy. It's messy. And let's get into that mess. And you allowed us to get into the messiness, the dirtiness, all of that. And it's really going to help a lot of people for sure. So thank you, my love. Thank you for
That
being
is
you.
fine. Thank you.
Thank you for being you. And shifts can happen instantaneously.
I
They
believe
can
that.
energetically happen
Yeah.
instantaneously.
I feel a shift already. I already feel lighter.
Yeah.
I already feel more vibrant.
Yeah. Something shifted in your awareness on an energetic level.
Yeah.
And you're going to start to see everything just a tad bit differently, and you're going to respond differently. Yeah.
I am excited for the rest of my life now.
I'm so excited. Bring it on.
Thank you. But you have full permission to use like this part in your YouTube. You don't have to blur out my face. You can just do whatever. I don't mind.
Thank you so much.
That is all
You're
right.
such
I
a
can't
gift.
wait.
You're royal. I loved what your guide said. You're royal. That's so awesome. Put that queen crown on and own it, because it's why you're here.
Man, okay. I'm gonna be so happy for the rest of the day now. I just feel like that's gonna just increase my mood, and things are just gonna happen my way again.
And
I just know
listen
it.
back to
I
it.
feel
Every
it.
time you get pulled into whatever you get pulled into from the world,
I will watch this video.
just watch it. It'll pull you back. And I don't think you're necessarily gonna get pulled back. I think something energetically shifted in you. A lens shifted in you. I really do. I feel that. So anyway, thank you for everything you gave us today, and that you're gonna give the world when I put this up. So I love you. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.